n factorial ends with x zeros. N factorial ends with x zeros. I took an example of 100 factorial ends with 24 zeros. How I did these n, I first divided by 5. Am I right? Then I divided it by again 25. Then again I divided it by 125. 5 power 1, 5 power 2. Whatever answer I got, I added all these values and I got number of zeros at the end. So number of zeros at the end, it is x. First I divided by 5. 100 by 5, which is 20. There are 20 multiples of 5 from 5 ones are 5 to 5 20s are 100. There are 4 multiples of 25. 4 multiples. It all depends upon the question. Suppose if it is 100, 100 by 5, 100 by 5 square. Enough. 5 cube it is 125. If it is 1000, 1000 by 5, 1000 by 25, 1000 by 125, 1000 by 625. We will stop it there. Depending upon the value of n, these right hand side values will stop. These right hand side values will stop. This is a finite series. This is a finite series. 1 plus 2 plus 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is always less than 1 plus 2 plus 3 till infinite. 1 plus finite series is always less than infinite series. So this is a finite series. It is always less than infinite series. N by 5, n by 5 square, n by 5 cube, and so on up to infinite. And so on up to infinite. This is a GP series. If you observe, x is less than n by 5. This will become 1 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5 square and so on. So it will be x is less than n by 5. A by 1 minus r. This is a sum to infinite terms in GP series. A by 1 minus r. So this is less than, x is less than n by 5 into 5 by 4. 5 cancel. 4x less than n. Extremely important property, sir. N is greater than 4x. N is greater than 4x. N factorial. Very, very important relationship. N factorial ends with x zeros. N factorial ends with x zeros. What is the relationship between n and x? N is greater than 4x. Very, very important property. N factorial ends with x zeros. That means n is greater than 4x. N factorial. Suppose if x is given, we can find out the minimum value of n, maximum value of n, and the range of n. If this factorial is given, number of zeros at the end is nothing but the highest power of 5. For a factorial related problems, extremely important concept. Most of the students go for the approximation or estimation. You don't need this. N factorial ends with x zeros. N factorial ends with x zeros. What is the relationship between n and x? N is greater than base 4x. We are doing it in decimal system. Decimal system, number of zeros is given by power of 10. Power of 10 is 2 into 5. 2 into 5. I'll tell you why am I writing like this. N factorial ends with x zeros. N is greater than 4x. N factorial ends with x zeros. N is greater than 4x. Now see, examples. 3 to 4 examples we solve. Then the idea will be very clear. Examples. Simple example. N factorial ends with 8 zeros. N factorial ends with 8 zeros. What all values n can take? N factorial ends with 8 zeros. How many values n can take? Listen carefully. So this is given by n is greater than 4x. N is greater than 4 into 8. N is greater than 32. N is greater than 32. What is the multiple of 5 greater than 32? 35. Let me check with 35. 5 sevens are 35. 5 ones are 5. 7 plus 1, 8. n factorial ends with 8 zeros. That means 35 can give you the answer. 36. 5 sevens are, 5 ones are. 36 will give you the answer. Till the next multiple of 5 sevens are, 5 ones are. 7 plus 1, 8. That means how many values n can take? 35 to 39. How many values n can take? 35 to 39. So n factorial ends with x zeros. What is the relationship between n and x? N is greater than 4x. N is greater than 4x. N factorial ends with x zeros, then n is greater than 4x. Second example. More and more examples you solve, more and more clarity you will get it. N factorial. Let us do, for example, suppose 17 zeros. N factorial ends with 17 zeros. What is the minimum value of n that will satisfy this equation? N factorial ends with 17 zeros. What is the minimum value of x? N is greater than 4x. 4 into 17. N is greater than 68. N is greater than 68. What is the multiple of 9? 5 greater than 68. 70. 70 is giving you 5 14s are, 5 2s are. 14 plus 2, 16. 14 plus 2, it is 16. 16 zeros. I want 17 zeros. Go to the next multiple. 75. 5 15s are, 5 3s are. 15 plus 3, 18. From 16, there is a jump to 18. Is 17 possible? Not possible. No value n can take which will, on factorial, it will end with 17 zeros. No value n takes such that n factorial ends with 17 zeros. It is not mandatory that always the answer will be 5. It all depends upon the question. Sometimes you might get 5 values, sometimes you might not get any value. That is exactly the reason. Point number 1, point number 2, both are there. I have seen some local teachers telling that always the answer will be 5, answer will not be 5. It all depends upon the question. N factorial ends with x zeros. N is greater than 32. Multiple of 5 greater than 32 I took. Why? Because power of 5 will only give you the number of zeros at the end. I hope the concept is very, very clear. N factorial ends with x zeros. N is greater than 4x.